Hey everybody, this is Mike with the One Stop Co-op Shop, and today I'm doing a preview for Shred of Redemption. This is a solo game that is currently on crowdfunding, closes in a week or so. And as always, we take no compensation from publishers, we don't get paid for our previews, we just want to help you make an informed decision. And if you like the content on the One Stop Co-op Shop, consider supporting us through Patreon. You get early access to our videos and exclusive videos every month you can't see anywhere else. You can also listen to our weekly podcast for reviews and design discussions, or join the conversation and say hi on our Discord. So Shred of Redemption is a quick solo dice and card and tile manipulation game. The theme of it is super duper cool. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. It's kind of like Ebenezer Scrooge, basically. The idea is that your character has been this like rich autocrat or warrior or whatever, and you've taken advantage of people for years, and now in your elder years, you've seen the error of your ways, and you're trying to atone for your sins before you die. Now, you'll see a lot of the game is very mechanical, but I do love kind of that core underpinning of the theme there. All right, but what are you actually going to do in the game? I'm just going to play right through it because it's all pretty straightforward. So we are going to, I put a bunch of dice in here. I'm going to draw out one at a time. I get to see what kind of die it is. So each of the dice has one face that is on 3 of its sides, and then some other faces that are on the other 3 sides. And this represents the sin that I've committed in my life. So the main one for this die is the black face here. I engage in a lot of intrigue during my life. So I put this die down. It's not locked into that face, by the way, but that is the most likely face that it will achieve. And then I draw 2 cards from this redemption deck, which is going to give me my main resources for trying to adjust things in the game and win. But thematically, it represents the things I'm trying to do to atone for my sins. What are my choices here? I've got Just Laws and A Simple Life. And each of these cards is doing 2 things. First of all, these icons in the upper left, and by the way, this is all very much a prototype, and unfortunately this is a prototype where its prototypeness really does get in the way of gameplay because the colors are not as vibrant as I would like, and since a lot of stuff is about matching colors and like knowing which card goes with which die, it's a little bit frustrating, but we'll be okay. But yeah, so each of these gives me a choice of tokens that are going to go into the bag, the same bag I'm using for the dice right now. And I'll be drawing tokens out of that bag to kind of set up my game space. So I want to ideally pick out some tokens that are going to match with the dice I'm gaining. Now, right now, I don't really know too much, and none of these have the black token. So I want to look at also the ability. Each of these cards gives you a one-time ability you can use throughout the game as you try to mess with your tokens. So I've got Just Laws. If 3 dice are showing the same vice, turn one of them to its dominant vice. So the vices are these different faces of the dice, and the dominant vice is the one that appears 3 times on the die, the one that's most likely to be rolled. Or A Simple Life. Turn 3 tokens to use, you don't know what that means yet, but that's a very expensive cost, to add a token of choice to the end of the row. That is super powerful though. So sure, I'll go for A Simple Life first. I'm going to repeat what I just did 4 more times. All right, so I've got another plaque. Interesting. Okay, and I've got 2 cards to choose from. I can house orphans or engage in the spirit of share. I think I'm going to do house orphans because look, it's got a black token there. Roll a vice die 3 times, placing it on one of the rolled results. Yeah, okay, that sounds pretty good to me. Okay, now I got a blue face. Blue-ish, purple, blue. Yeah, I mean, clearly in the final game, I'm sure these colors would be more different. But yeah, this is debauchery I engaged in. I do enjoy a bit of debauchery from time to time. Oh, okay. Now, the birds do not go with that. They go with the more purplish one. I don't have anything red. I don't have anything yellow. This lets me change a blue into a red, which isn't that great. Support the poor. Remove 2 adjacent regret tokens and turn 1 die to any side. That's actually pretty good because as you'll see, regret tokens will come out and they're hard to get rid of. So I'm going to go ahead and get support the poor. All right, 2 more times. All right, now I've got, I think that's yellow. And that is greed. I've already got 2 of these charity things, or actually 3 that could go against that. That's a ton of red, which I have none of. So I think I'm definitely going to go for this one. A Wise Mentor. After discarding this card, the next 2 times you use a fresh virtue token, it can act as any virtue token. That's a really good one. You'll see what that means later. Yeah, now I'm definitely going to go for that, I think. All right, and last, we've got another debauchery. Wow, so this is much more mono-focus than I usually have, although we don't know if the dice are actually going to roll those faces. So I've got Manual Labor, which would go with the debauchery. I probably want to get that one. Yeah, or Prisoner's of War. So let's go ahead and go with Manual Labor. Although this ability to change a blue to a green, that's not too useful, since I'm not likely to roll any green results. So now I'm going to prep my bag. So I pour out all the extra dice. We don't need those. I'm going to add 6 of these regret tokens. These are negative. You don't want to draw those too often. 1 of each of the 6 colored tokens. And then all the tokens indicated on my drafted redemption cards. Here I'm getting what? 2 red, 3 yellow, 2 black, 3 purple, 1 green, 2 blue, I think. I'm going to add all of those into the bag as well. All right, now I'm going to zoom out a bit so the next part is easier to see. So each of these 5 redemption cards, all that matters on them now is their bottom ability. These are little like mitigation powers I can use. I'm going to roll the 5 Vice dice one at a time. So that one actually did not end up on black. And I'm going to put them out in this order. And these are the vices I have to atone for. Most of these are getting their dominant face by matching them up with the matching virtue token. And speaking of virtue tokens, I'm now going to shuffle all the tokens in this bag. Remember, there are 6 of those negative regret ones and all the other virtue token ones. I'm going to draw 1 token at a time until I have a row of 5 virtue tokens, not counting regret tokens. So with 6 regret tokens, I could potentially have 11 tokens out if I just keep on drawing all the regret. Hopefully not. All right, so we got humility and restraint. And we got charity. And charity, we're getting very lucky. There's way fewer regrets than I usually get. Well, it's also not at all necessarily what we need. Oh, okay, so wow. All right, so there are 6 regrets still in here. This has never happened to me before. And now what I need to try to do is match up the dice to the tokens beneath them and have no regret in my row. Now, the no regret at the moment is actually pretty easy because I didn't get any. But restraint, you can see, goes with debauchery. So that would like have to be over here. Charity goes with greed, which, I do have 1 of, so that actually matches up. Yeah, we have 1 match total right now. But we want to change some of these die faces. We want to move some of these tokens around. And there are 2 ways we're going to be able to do that. First of all, we can use the redemption cards we drafted. But then secondly, we can use the tokens themselves, these virtues we've collected and drawn. Each of them has a use ability, which the first time you use it flips it to its white side, its depleted side, or its used side. If you use it again, it gets taken out entirely, which clearly is going to make it hard for you to win if you don't have enough tokens. Or alternatively, if you haven't used it yet, if it's still on its active side, you can discard it entirely for a different effect. So here, to go through the ones that I have, the kindness, the red on the right, I can use it to exchange tokens that are adjacent to each other or 1 apart, or I can discard it to exchange any 2 tokens. So I could flip it over right now to move this restraint with the chastity so that I'd have that matched up. Okay, then charity lets me draw an extra token to the end of the row or draw 3 extra tokens at the end of the row. Although some of those might be the negative regret tokens I got really lucky not to draw any of. So that's a questionable one to use. My 1 restraint here lets me exchange 2 dice that are the same color or showing the same vice. Same color refers to their dominant color, so I could swap these 2 black dice, even though this one's showing the red, like violence, sin instead. Or I can discard it to exchange any 2 dice, but then I have to re-roll one of them that's showing a vice matching the virtue on its spot. So like if I swapped this all the way over to here, I'd have to re-roll this one, and there's a good chance it wouldn't be on the axe anymore, and I wouldn't actually be matching anymore. And then the last one I got, humility. As a use, I can remove a regret from the row, shifting the row. So I get to just remove one of those regret things, which I didn't draw any of. Or for the discard power, I can turn a regret to a token not matching any vices showing on the dice, which then if you can find out some other way to move things around, could be really good. But right now that's useless because I don't have any regrets at all. And now let's look back at our redemption cards, just kind of before we dive into the puzzle. So this one, I can discard the card, they're each single use, to change one of my restraints into whatever that was, the opposite of sloth, diligence. This one lets me turn 3 tokens to use to add a token of choice at the end of the row. So I could be like, meow, and bring out one of the learning tokens that would match that, for example, straight from the supply, although you can see that's pretty expensive. A wise mentor is a cool one. After discarding this card, the next 2 times you use a fresh virtue token, so not one that's already been used, you can make it be any virtue token. So here, let's actually go over the 2 I didn't talk about yet. I don't have any learning tokens, but they let you draw 5 tokens from the bag, discard as many as you wish, and put the rest back in the bag, which actually would be pretty useful here because we know there's just a ton of regrets waiting. Or I can discard it to turn 2 different adjacent tokens into a single use virtue token, which is pretty great. You can just take them both up and get rid of some stuff. And the other one I don't have at all is green. I can re-roll a vice die for the use power, or turn a die to the opposite side for its discard power. So the mentor will let me get some wild uses out of the dice. All right, housing the orphans. Roll a vice die 3 times, placing on one of the rolled results. That's pretty dang good. And then support the poor. Move 2 adjacent regret tokens to turn 1 die to any side, if I had regret tokens. Now, another use of these redemption cards, if you don't like their power, like I don't know if I'll ever need to change a blue into a green, since I have several blue results, you can discard them to add a regret to the bag. They'll bring me to 7 in the bag total, and then draw 2 tokens to the end of the line. Which actually I think I might want to do early here to kind of see my options because, yeah, I mean, I know I'm probably going to get some regret, but at least I'll have more stuff to do. So I add a regret. And then I'm drawing one at a time. Okay, I got another humility. And geez, where are the friggin' regrets? I mean, it's fine. Don't get me wrong. I like having powers to use. All right, so how can I make this work? Sorry, I'm just kind of consolidating things. So I can use a red to get this like over to there. Although if I do that swap thing, we already saw that it's going to mess me up some. This one's already in the right spot. Is there, not every die face has every vice on it. Yeah, see, this one doesn't have the greed icon. So I literally can't get a match just about like re-rolling that die. Now, does it have the bird? Because I have a lot of these birds. No, it doesn't. Gosh, it doesn't have that either. That's great. Not really. Because I should theoretically be able to like get one of these reds over to there by using the red powers for swapping tokens. That one's already matched up, but I don't have a black and I don't have two blues, and I'm not 100% sure what to do about it yet. Okay, the black does have a money side. Ooh, and it has a crown side. So re-rolling this one. Maybe I'll try that out. Roll a vice die 3 times, place it on one of the rolled results. Okay, let's try this out. All right, so number 1 is money. Good. It's a nice option. Number 2 is the, and number 3, okay. So I can put on that for one of my charities or there for one of my birds. I mean, that seems a little bit easier to do probably, right? Because now I could use a kindness to swap 2 tiles that are adjacent or 1 apart from each other. So I want to get that to there, that to there, that to there. So if I do that for my first red use, if I use this red one to do that, and then if I trash this red one because I'm using it again to do that, oh man, we are cooking now. We got 4 out of 5. But this token goes away. I know what were the ones that added tokens, because I need to figure out some way to get like new stuff in here. Because yeah, again, it literally doesn't match anything in either of these two. So it was a charity, right? So I can use a charity to draw 1 token or discard it to draw 3 tokens. Well, I guess let's do 1 at a time, right? All right, so I'll use 1 to draw. Oh, wait, hold on. Should I use Simple Life? Turn 3 tokens to use. I have a ton of them to add a token of choice to the end of the row. So if I turn 3 of these to used, I could add like the blue there. And then if I use some of these for their powers just to like trash them, that should be okay. Now, I haven't said this yet, but even if you get everything perfect where you have 5 matches, you draw this little final reckoning card that gives you one final challenge to overcome. Like you have a final crisis of faith before you truly forgive yourself and find absolution. So don't think that I'm out of the woods. I want to like keep as many options and tools available as I possibly can. But yeah, maybe. Okay, let's do a Simple Life. So I'm going to turn 3 tokens to used. Okay, I'll do one of the charities. I'll do one of the humilities. What was restraint again? Let's me swap 2 dice. I'm pretty happy with the dice right now. So yeah, let's do that one. Okay, then instead I get to add a token of choice to the end of the row, which will be restraint, right? Oh, hold on. Let's let's swap this a little bit because I want to be able to clear these out. So let's use charity to draw a token to the end of the row. And there's a regret, but this is actually okay. This is kind of what I thought might happen, because humility's main use is to remove a regret and just reposition the row. So boom, that's it, right? Okay, awesome. So I've shown kindness to atone for my, wrath? Are these like what is it? Yeah, wrath. I've shown kindness to atone for my wrath. I've shown humility to atone for my pride, restraint to atone for my debauchery, and charity to atone for my greed. Everything's great. I've still got some tokens face up. I've still got some redemption cards, but let's see what my final reckoning is. Oh, an old grudge shows up. They don't think that I deserve to be. This is like, what am I thinking of? Javert, right? In Les Mis, like he shows up and he's like, oh, you don't deserve to have a good life. You're a criminal. You'll always be a criminal. So select a random unused vice die, roll it and add it to the row of dice. Its vice needs to be matched to win the game. I don't like that at all. Oh, shoot. Okay. So I get to select the die, but unfortunately I don't have any extra tokens, so I don't really know what's going to be good for me. Let's see. What did I have a lot of in the bag? I had a good number of humilities, but I already got 2 of them, right? I had like no greens, not that many reds. I had 3 charities, but I already got 2 of those. And I actually got like, I think almost every red. I only had 1 extra green plus the one that started in there. Shoot. I didn't get any black tokens yet. Okay, so let's, oh wait, crud. Which ones did I already use? I still had, no, I didn't have that one. I still have Wise, Mentor, and Support the Poor, yeah. All right, so I'll take another black die, and we got another greed. Okay, I don't know if that's good. I know they've already gotten rid of at least one charity. All right, so speaking of charity, should I use its power to draw a token from the bag? Try to get that greed? Sure. That's strength. Okay. Man, are there regrets in here? I mean, there are, right? I drew one of them. Yeah, they're in there. Okay. All right. Ooh, it does have... Did I have something like changes a die? You must... No, that's the mentor. Oh, remove 2 adjacent regret tokens to turn 1 die to any side. Oh, man. So if I... if I discard my wise mentor to take the chance of drawing 2 new tokens, and if they're both regrets, which is like not negative odds, because I would have to add another regret to the bag before drawing the 2. If I got 2 regrets in a row, I can use Support the Poor to change this die to be that, and it would remove both the regret tokens, so I'd be set up for the win. Clearly that's a high, it's a not likely result. Alternatively, is Restraint the reroll one? No, it exchanges dice. Darn it. I was thinking of green, which I don't have any of. Now, I could use a Wise Mentor to flip 2 of these, call them green, call them Diligence. It would give me 2 rerolls, but, chances of getting the matching face are just so stupidly low. Okay, I'm going to try it. I'm going to throw away Wise Mentor. I'm adding a regret to my bag. And come on. Okay, here, we'll just keep it on camera so you all know I'm not cheating. That's not it. It's not it. Although I can add another something, so if this is a regret, it should be okay. What the... Dude, why can I not... I just can't get regrets to save my life. It's very weird. Usually I have way too many. Ooh, now this is actually good, though. Because red can move stuff. Charity... I'm going to trash the charity to draw 3 more tokens. I'm just trying to get regret at this point. All right, come on. I only think they need to be next to each other because I can use kindness to move around. There's 1. That's 1 of the 3. There's 2. Okay, and now we don't want more. Okay, this is... Oh, it's a black token. Sorry, you can't see it quite on there. But yes, this is perfect, right? So remove 2 adjacent regret tokens. Bow, supporting the poor, to turn any die to any side. Boom. And these don't hurt us. We have to get rid of all the regrets, but like extra tokens beyond the scope of your thing don't matter. So wow, this is actually the first time I've won the game. This is like my 4th play. I played a few times off camera to make sure I had the rules down. Hopefully I didn't cheat. But I convinced my old grudge that I've truly turned over a new leaf and that, violence is not the answer. And maybe he joins me in my, he's like the Jacob Marley to my Ebenezer Scrooge or whatever your reference is. Yeah, cool. So that was Shred of Redemption. That again is currently on crowdfunding. And what do I think of this one? It's fun. It's, not going to be one of my favorite games of the year. It's kind of a quick, light little experience that you can play most anywhere. I think that's what they're intending for the game. When I'm not on camera talking, I can crank out a play of this in like 10 minutes. But it does have some nice kind of feeling of like dice manipulation mixed with token manipulation. There's a lot of powers in these cards. There's a lot of powers from the different tokens. Although that, I will say, is like one complaint. I'm slowly learning what all the different tokens do and like what their use and discard powers are. But yeah, having to like have these as references in your early games can be a little bit annoying because this is otherwise like a very quick, like straightforward game. So just having to reference a lot of things is not the best. And then as I said in the prototype, it is very hard to like tell at a glance which things match which. But all of that will, I'm sure, be much better in the final product, and also, I'm sure, much better once I've played the game more than I currently have. But yeah, I think the mix of the redemption cards and the random dice can make things pretty fun. I think the Final Reckoning is a cool concept to give you one final challenge to overcome. I think the art is great, and the theme is fantastic, something I've never seen before. But at the same time, this is a very luck-based game. Like, sometimes you're going to use a power to re-roll a die, and it won't be at all what you need. Sometimes it'll be exactly what you need. You saw that I didn't draw, like, any regrets for most of the game. Now, in some ways, that actually hurt me. Like, a few regrets can be useful because they are a tool to use with the other tokens. But, drawing a ton of regrets, like, in one game, I got 5 out of 6 of them in my initial draw. That's not great. You're never going to be able to deal with all of those. So it is a random game. It's like other kind of solitaire-ish, like Klondike-ish games where I think you're just going to kind of go through the motions and have a fun time, and you'll win some and you'll lose some. But winning this one felt satisfying, so this was pretty cool. But feel free to go check out the crowdfunding page and see for yourself what you think of the game. Thanks for watching, and thanks especially to our biggest Patreon supporters, J. William F., Pedro Lucas, Nick Skeen, Miles, Wayne Scott, Steve Wren, and Casey W. We'll see you at the next stop.